that lovely warm welcome. I do appreciate it because I get really nervous when I first get on stage. And I think that your laughter will help with the stage anxiety. Your laughter and the spliff I had about an hour ago. I'm joking. It was a bong and it was half an hour ago. You know, a comedian once said to me, don't get nervous when you get on stage because chances are you're never going to see the audience members again. Now this works well in theory. Didn't work quite as well though when I did a gig in my hometown and some of my family came to watch. Now in hindsight, and I kind of do agree with my family, that maybe the topic of inbreeding wasn't quite appropriate on that occasion. You know, I regretted it because after that gig, my brother dumped me. But it did stop him attending future gigs, which is great. I hate it when my family comes to watch. Now, my mum turned up at a gig last year unexpectedly, right, and she brought along all of her work colleagues and they took up the whole of the front row. Well, I'd already prepared my set, so I had to run with it. So this is the joke that I told on the night. I said, it's been brought to my attention that I'm a bit of an alcoholic. So I went to see my doctor, and he asked me how many units of alcohol I drank in a week. So I said about 5, to which he seemed satisfied. Not until he realised that I was talking about kitchen units. Now, you see, I've had quite a rough upbringing, right? A really tough childhood, so I blame my parents for me having a drink problem today. But my mum, right, she's the one who's always on my back about drinking. She nags me to death, right? She's like, Lindsay, they put the cork in the wine for a reason. It's so you can put it back in the fridge and save it for another day. You don't have to drink the whole bottle at once. So I'm like, all right, Mum, all right. I'm not being funny though, Mum. You don't snort half a line. This is the point at the gig where my mum just stands up and just goes, you're a liar! She probably like ruined the gig and I just looked at her and I went, Mum, for fuck's sake, I'm in the middle of a gig. She didn't go, she was relentless. Tell them you're lying! So I had to address the whole audience and my mum's work colleagues. I just said, I'm really sorry about this, everybody. This is my mum. And she wants me to let you know that she's not a cocaine addict. I just said it for the purpose of the joke. And the only reason that I said it is because I couldn't think of a joke that involved heroin. I can safely say that my mother no longer attends my gigs. And she lost her job at the school. So yeah, as Neil said, I'm from a very small town called Leigh in Lancashire. Do we know Leigh? It's a shithole, isn't it? Yeah, I keep trying to get over, but I think there's a fucking force field around it, honestly. There really is. But Leigh is one of them towns where you could walk through with your camera phone open and convince your friend you're on the set of The Walking Dead. But I'm used to it, it doesn't bother me. You know, I've lived in Leigh all my life, and for that, I'm a girl who lives on the edge of a council estate. An estate so rough that even the dogs smoke. It's really noisy as well where I live. The estate's dead noisy. The teenagers, they're the problem. They hang around on the street corners, shouting, spitting, swearing, giving abuse to passers-by, thinking they're hard as fuck in the onesies. You see, I've had an idea, I think, a solution to the problem. You see, I think if I go to the local shop and buy 6 cans of Stella and 40 Lambert and Butler and put it to them all as a prize, I reckon I can get a Hunger Games tournament going on that estate. And as well as them being noisy, the teenagers, you see them walking around pushing prams, some of them pregnant. This scares the shit out of me because I've got a teenage daughter and another daughter who's not far from being a teenager. I don't want them thinking that it's trendy or cool to have a child at such a young age, so I've been trying to find ways of putting them off. So what I did is I sat my daughters down on the couch and made them watch one of those birthing videos. It wasn't an actual birthing video, it was the Alien box set, but I think it had the same effect. And another thing what I did is I printed off a picture of Pamela Anderson from the Baywatch days and I held it up to my daughters and I said, girls, you see this woman here? This is Pamela Anderson. 10 years ago, she was voted the most beautiful woman in the world. And then she had 3 children. And this is what she looks like now. And I flipped the picture to reveal Katie Hopkins. I've finally convinced my daughters though never to have children. And if only I'd have known it was as easy as just showing them Mrs. Arian scar and telling them that they were delivered by chainsaw. Yeah, I've got 3 children in total, yes, single mother of 3. It's not been easy, but one thing I've learned never to say to my kids is, hey, I've been like a mother and a father to you. Because last time I said it, my daughter went, oh, a mother and a father. Is that why you keep a plastic penis in your bottom drawer? Lately, I've been thrown back into the dating game, through no fault of my own, by the way. And I hate dating as well because I'm nearly 40 years old now. I'm too old to pull off a miniskirt, but I'm not old enough to the point that when I sneeze, I piss myself. And I started getting paranoid about the ageing process as well, and it never used to bother me until like a few weeks ago when I was in Asda, at the self-serve checkouts. As I bent down to get my shopping, it scanned my fucking forehead. Charge me £1.29 if you're interested. And I have started getting really paranoid about it. I'll be at home and I'll get the iron out and I'll be ironing the creases out of my dress and I'll look longingly at the iron and think, could my face take this heat? But I have been dating. I had a date quite recently, right? You know the travelling furs? Well, the travelling fur came to me. It comes about twice a year and I fancied a change. So me and my friends went to the fur and I was a bit pissed. And I'm not proud of this, but I ended up pulling the guy around the hooker duck stall. Right? We wakes up the day after and I was lying in his bed and I was thinking, shit, what have I done? And the flashbacks started coming to me and I looked at him and he was just staring at me and I didn't know what to say, so I just came out with the old, how was it for you? And he gave me a goldfish. I was fucking gutted witness, but I'll tell you what, I had another 3 goals till I won that giant teddy bear. But it's just been relentless. Like I've had dating disaster after dating disaster after disaster, right? So I thought I need to go out and treat myself. So I took myself off to a salon and I got myself one of those Brazilian waxes. Yeah, this is something that I would normally never get done. But when my last date said that a lawnmower is much preferred to a Mach 3 razor, then I thought it was time to take action. So I went to the salon, I got it done, it was painful. I thought, it was really nice, I'm going to go out with it. Yeah? Redeem myself, and redeem myself I did, because I went out that night and I pulled a guy in his 20s. Yeah? He said I was a cougar, which I thought he was taking the piss because I was wearing leopard print at the time. But we had a really, really good night. We had a laugh, we had lots to drink, we ended up back at his. And I thought, you know what, it's been a really good day, best one I've had in ages, perfect opportunity to show off my new driveway. So I did, and I just asked him outright for oral sex. Right? And I'll tell you what, witness, I wish I'd never bothered. Because to this day, it was the worst sexual experience I've ever had in my entire life. There's only one way I can describe his oral technique. Have any of you ever given a dog a leftover yoghurt pot? That went down better than he did. Anyway, FYI, anyway boys, if you ever are down there, right, if it doesn't look like she's having an epileptic fit, then you're doing it wrong. Unless, of course, she has epilepsy. Then you need to stop what you're doing, cushion her head, remove sharp objects, and just let her ride it out. It's not all just been dating for me, I have had relationships. The longest relationship I had lasted for 7 years, yeah. We broke up because he was quite an abusive guy. And when we did break up, I really wanted to take revenge. And my friends advised me against this. They said, Lindsay, don't take revenge, just beat him with experience. So I wrote down the word experience on a baseball bat. So it's been lovely. Before I go, I'll just tell this little story what I'm working on at the minute. My last breakup, it was over 12 months ago, and I recently passed my driving test. And where I live is quite a very long, windy road. It goes on for quite a few miles, and it's a 40-mile zone. And a new driver, you don't want to break the rules. Anyway, I saw my ex-boyfriend in his van, and he recognised the car. and he was behind me on this road, and he started to tailgate me on purpose and put me under a lot of pressure, and I could see him in the mirror, and I just thought, ignore him, just carry on, it doesn't matter. And he started to get closer, and he started to beep, and he was really making me anxious, so I just carried on ignoring him. And as we got round the bend, he started to overtake me, and he put down his window like a child and started to laugh and do all this, you know what I mean? Just ignored him, carried on driving. 2 miles up the road, I noticed that he'd been pulled over by the police, obviously for speeding. So I dropped back to about 5 miles an hour, put my window down. Most satisfactory middle finger I've ever given in my life. Oh, it was fantastic, I felt elated. It lasted for a good mile up the road, and then the police pulled me over and fined me for giving them the finger. But anyway, you've been great, small but lovely. Thank you very much, I've been Lindsay Davis.